sanctuary. And in our temporary place of worship that we worship now. And then the phase 5 is test. How will the opportunity be addressed with the agreed upon solution over a 4-month period? And then implementation plan. And because, like I said, the storm I reshaped the project goal. So it says one of the main things that we feel like that the project needed was a relationship rebuilding among our members, and then having activities or outings to come together for fun, laughing, fellowship, and open communication from our leadership board with the process of our church rebuilding plan. So these were some of the reshaping of our project goal. The first one was just lack of leadership, lack of trust, and and then lack of leadership for young adults. But after the storm, I felt like these were the new goals that we wanted to have in the church, is to have a relational rebuilding among our members, and then, like I said, having activities where we could build that love and trust again, and then again open communication between our members and then the board for the rebuilding process. And then these were some of the implementation plan, the tests that we did for the project. The community concert. Due to the damages of our church, the concert took place at one of the churches in the community, Union. And these are his pictures. I have videos, but I'm not gonna play them now. Let's go play them another time. And then we have the LTSG discipleship class. One of the great things that, like I said, Brenda have been trying to incorporate in this church for the longest, and like I said, we was able to launch it in January, but I think our first meeting was at the church. So I would say more Octoberish, well before then, so around August. So we have incorporated the LTSG discipleship class, and it's being led by Brother Dominic. And the class objective is to help one either identify or confirm their spiritual gifts, discover their calling in life, and how to exercise those spiritual gifts in their congregation and community. And it's a 42-week class, but right now we just meet on the third Sunday of each month. And then these are some pictures of the discipleship class.
You're in there.
And then the end of the year outing, like I said, things where we could come together and have fellowship. This was another way to build this relationship. That was probably that was so much fun that day. We went to Orlando and we went to Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen and the skating. That was a great time for us to engage in conversation, lots of laughter, games, good, fun and times, and it's a lot of seeing Haitian people fall on the skating rink because it was their first time, skating, so it was a good end of the year.
That was still in pain.
And then, like I said, other ways, birthday celebration dinners, and a theme park outing in Orlando's. So our LMT main focus moving forward is to keep the morale of our members up and continue to find opportunities to rebuild the generation trust in our church. So that's the main focus moving on now, is to keep the morale of our members. And Creole Moal, that's how you say it? Yeah. Moal, of our church together, and continue to find opportunity to rebuild that generational trust in our church. And one way to remind our members, because like I said, I didn't used to take pictures, but after my sister went to the military, I take pictures like everything. Cause I think pictures and memories, it does something to you. And for me, I'm about to get emotional. The reason I take pictures too sometimes is because, if I get sick, I could just look at pictures all day. So I said one way to build this trust in my church is just to remind us, where we've been the last 30 years. So, our church before the storm.
Way back.
I'm going to play this little small video clip right quick. If we could get back to the church. This was one of the events that we had that the grown-ups did for the kids and the youth of the church this year. It was, got us a limousine, they took us out to eat, and everything. So I'm just going to show you guys just this little clip. So, like I said, if we could just remind ourselves to get back to, those are one of the ways. Sit up here so this don't play again. The learnings I had from all this, like I said, the last slide was God hasn't brought us this far to leave us now. And then that verse, Joshua 1:7-9. And learnings from all this, one of the things that it says we move forward is trusting building is a long endeavor and it never ends. So as we move forward, trusting is going to be a long process. It's not one thing that just changed overnight. And it says effective ministry is learning to do the right things for the right reason and understanding the need for intergenerational relationship buildings. And one of the 5 ways that, it came up to trying to restore some of the relationships in our church. This is not on the slides, so this is, it says, number 1 is be sure all are committed with love. And that's John 15:13. And then the second one is humble yourself, Proverbs 6:3. The next one is don't rush it, Psalms 27:14. And then number 4, Ephesians 4:15. Be honest, keep current, attack the problem, not the person, and act, don't react. So by these things, I think if we want to have true restorations and reconciliation and to build, the trust issue, these are some of the things that we could take as a church and moving forward. Just remember to, humble ourselves. Be sure to commit with love. Don't rush the process. Ask forgiveness and grant forgiveness. I'm just repeating those things because it's very it's a reminder to us and to remember the rules of communication. Be honest, keep current, attack the problem, not the person, and act, don't react. And so, in conclusion, basically where do I go up now? Like my future, I know now I want to do more counseling. So I think, got calling for teen counseling and Christian counseling. So that's one calling that I feel like as I get ready to graduate, I want to do, counseling and Christian counseling just to help those, when you equip with something, you want to help people. And so I think that's more what I want to do is counseling. And it says, this has been one of the greatest journey in my life. Deciding to get my master's in ministry was one of the best decisions I have ever made. And I'm forever grateful for that much wisdom I have gained. It was 9 of us that started this process last March, and it's only 7 of us that's going to be graduating next May. And I am the youngest, and it's just been one of the biggest opportunity and blessings I have taking this master program is I've been surrounded by pastors and other professors that, soaking up in their knowledge and wisdom. Because I think one of the greatest things is you can't never stop learning. You have to keep learning. And so it's just been a blessing to do that. And this capstone project have opened the doors in so many ways, for a church. We just hope that with me presenting this capstone project, that this hopefully opens up the door to some, communication, to some, sometimes change is hard, but sometimes it's necessary. And so, like I said, as long as we could, trust building would never end, and it's a long process. In order for us to get back to the place where we have true love, unity, and trust again, we must rebuild the broken relationships in our church. Relationships are hard. They require constant cultivation, but commitment, humility, time, forgiveness, and proper communications are all steps that will lead to restoration in a way that will please the Lord. And that's really it. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? All right, that's it.